We've
All
grown.
right, well, let's get on with it. Welcome back to the Beyond the Coach podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kelsey Nanini.
I'm Chris Sweet, and I'm so excited for our guest.
Woo! We're joined by yet another Apex coach, Devin, and we're so excited you're here with us.
Me too.
Hi.
Devin's like, hello, world.
Devin may or may not be in the middle of a tornado right now, but she still showed up, so it's possible.
If you hear me scream, I'm in a tornado.
Now that's loyalty to a brand, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Rain or snow or tornadoes, whatever's going on, we got each other. In sickness and in health, because we've also all been down with something. So.
Except for Devin.
Except for Devin.
Add it to my bio on our website. It says
only
also
Apex coach who's not survived tornado. Only Apex coach should not get sick.
That might have to be like an annual thing that we do. Is like who can make it the longest without getting sick.
Ooh, it's like a competition.
And then it's like a prize if you come out of it with no illness. You'll get
it's like the Hunger Games.
A Starbucks gift card. No, I love it. No, I'm so excited for Devin to be here, even if a tornado may or may not come, and she may have to cling to her toilet, who knows, or her bathtub, whatever convenient place there is for the tornado safety policy. I'm very thankful that I got out of the South so that I don't have to deal with tornado warnings anymore. But Kelsey was very confused that tornadoes happen in Alabama.
I feel like I'm so, just blind to the rest of the country and who has what weather issues, because part of the reason we moved to Arizona was, while there is crazy heat, there's also no natural disasters hypothetically that can happen here aside from melting. So I don't know, it's so crazy. I don't know where tornadoes I know Arkansas. My mom was in Arkansas one time and for work and had a tornado warning, and she got woken up and had to go to the basement of this hotel. So I don't know, maybe just the whole Midwest, South all has tornadoes. Just
anything that's in the middle of the country, just avoid it.
Yeah. There was one in Oregon the other day.
Oh, never
random.
Mind.
Yeah,
everywhere. It's fine. The conspiracy theorists will have their thoughts on that one.
It's not the right podcast. Weird.
That is not my ball game for sure. But to kick off the podcast, I just need to hype up Devin for a second, because let me tell you the story of Devin coming into my sphere. Okay. First off, everybody, all listeners should know, everybody should know, we should put this in your bio, Devin, of the story, the origin story of Chris and Devin becoming acquainted with each other, because Devin and I went to college together and we met because we waitressed together. Little did we know that I was going to become her boss down the road.
Shout out Bob's Victory Grill.
Bob's Victory Grill. All right. What was it also? It was Bob's Victory Grill, and where did it change into when everybody left? It was Bob's, and then it was...
I don't know if it went into Baumhauer's.
Was it also Baumhauer's? Mm-hmm. Did we start at Baumhauer's and then go to Bob's? Is that what happened? Or did we start at Bob's and then go to Baumhauer's? Remember, there was a shift.
I think it was we were at Bob's and then went to Baumhauer's.
And that was short-lived. Yeah. Baumhauer's. Same company that owned it. Same owner. But
Bob Baumhauer was his name, if you don't know.
Oh, that's why I'm like, what's
Baumhauer?
Bob's Victory Burgers sounds so much better than Baumhauer's, but hey.
Baumhauer's, yes. So we waitressed together. I was convinced that Devin hated me. So much so that my best friend today, Hannah, and we also waitress there with Devin. And there was one shift that we had where we grew the confidence to approach Devin and straight up ask her face to face if she liked us or not.
And then mind you, in my perspective, I'm this super shy, reserved, not talking to anyone. And I'm like, you think I hate you? I was like, I just don't know what to say to you. I just have resting bitch face. Sorry.
And it hasn't changed whatsoever.
No, it hasn't.
No, we straight up confronted Devin and we were like, do you hate us? Do you like us? We're not sure. Haha, let us know. All was well. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, she doesn't hate me and didn't hate Hannah either.
No,
We just hated our jobs
that
waitressing.
was
That was the source of
the
the
common
RBF.
denominator.
And you see that really bridged a friendship at that point. And then fast forward to when I started my business, Devin was one of my first online clients. She was one of the first ones to give me a fair shot in the
Yep.
online world circa 2019, 2020. And Devin, I'll let you tell points of the story, but I just have to tell it in my point of view as well because I just think it's hilarious that one day I called Devin and I was like, I know you're miserable being an in-person trainer. Do you want to work for me? But I have no idea what to pay you, no idea what your responsibilities are, no idea what your role is. All I know is you're gonna be a coach, but I have no idea what that looks like. Will you take the job?
And I said, sure.
And
Hell
that's a
yeah.
love story for the ages, folks, okay?
And then
That's
here
true
we
love.
are.
And here we are, my
Here
And
longest
that was
standing,
how many years ago? 5?
almost 5.
technically started,
5.
yeah, January of
Yeah,
It's
2021.
crazy. An
crazy.
OG. The real
Wild, an
OG.
OG, through thick, through thin, through tornadoes, through all of it. Through reconfirming that she doesn't hate me, waitressing. We've come very far.
It
So
was a bonding
welcome, Devin.
experience.
Here we are on this
Welcome to
podcast. But I think just to kick it off, why don't you talk about what got you into health and fitness? What got you, like, tell us about your background, your story when it comes to that, because that also is a unique one.
Well, I feel like there's like so many avenues to how I got here, but like backtrack growing up was always like the tiny little like string bean flagpole kid. Like it was a miracle when I broke 100 pounds. It was like a hip hip hooray, like she's in the right percentile of growing. And so I just always like very, very small. Like I remember literally shopping at like Aeropostale, American Eagle, getting like extra, extra smalls and like still was too big for me. So just like so tiny, so short. And growing up, I just remember seeing all my friends like hit their growth spurts and like go through puberty. And here I am just still like nothing. And I just always remember wanting to like be big. Like I didn't know really in like what sense, but I was like, I want to be able to fit into some clothes. And then coming to high school, I guess, I played volleyball for 2 years, and then pretty much played soccer throughout my entire life. And then I didn't hit my growth spurt until like senior year of high school, probably. And from there, kind of got into, I got like a peak of weightlifting, I guess. My senior year, we got a strength and conditioning coach, and we did like basic movements and things in there. And I kind of like got my foot in the door, I guess, through that. And then going from there into college, again, I kind of had the idea of what to do, but like I didn't have anyone tell me what to do or like the coach side of like showing me what to do. And like I said, to going back to Chris, super shy, super just like I was so riddled with like anxiety, social anxiety to the peak. I did not know what to do in the gym, did not want to go to the gym by myself, like just didn't want to do anything. So I didn't do anything. So obviously in college you have all the freedom in the world and saw changes in my body that I didn't love. And then come probably 2017. So I was a span from like 2013, 2017. I kind of got the groove of working out a little bit more because I had access to gym equipment that was not in the gym, where I could just go into a room by myself. That's like a whole other story of where that equipment came from. I won't get into that, but got into that, and that was like peak IG fitness, like the start of like everyone posting the workouts, all the workout videos, like swipe videos. And I remember vividly just going on there every day, screenshotting everything I could find, and just like every other day doing something different or doing all of like the booty building guides and things like that. And then from there, honestly, that kind of leads us into 2020, Chris reaching out and getting into actual legit training from there. But yeah, a little over the time span of, I don't know, 10 plus years. Crazy.
That is crazy. And I'll never forget, Devin, when you came to work with me and you were like, I'm petrified to lift a barbell. Like
Mhm.
you were like, I'm petrified to go into the gym. And I think the crazy thing about Devin and what I love about your story is that it's such a like nobody would expect it of you. Like nobody would look at you and be like, "Oh, that girl's afraid to go lift a barbell," or "That girl's like afraid to go into the gym," because like anybody who's literally coming to you would be like, "Oh, that's the most confident, like fit person." Because like you said, at a baseline, first off, like you were always on the smaller side. Like it was, and I think that in and of itself is a challenge for women who go through that because so often you hear like about fat loss and these big transformations someone goes through and it's
Yeah.
like for you that was such a different experience. But I just remember being like, Devin, like we're gonna need more weight than this. We're gonna
Like I
need more.
remember because when I first started working out with you, obviously like like mid COVID, like everything shut down. And so I was working out at home. And like I said, I had access to like a barbell and a few plates and things like that. We could make it work. But at the time, bartending obviously shut down. I'd gone back home. All my equipment was at home at my dad's house. And then everything opened back up. So I'm back down in Tuscaloosa. And at that point, I knew I was going to move back home eventually. So I was like, I don't want to bring all that back down just to then move it all the way back up. So I remember calling Chris and I'm like, what do we do? I was like, I don't have any workout equipment. Like, I don't have, like, how are we going to make this work? And she's like, you got to go to a gym. And I was like, no. I was like,
There's this building that
we'll figure
exists.
something out, surely. And she's like, no, like, you're going to go to a gym. And I was like, that's funny. I was like, no. But I did it. She pushed me and I got my membership to Crunch. And I remember waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which, if anyone knows me, not a morning person at all. But I was like, we're gonna go when I thought no one would be there. Turns out the early morning crowd, they're gonna be there. But
Like
I
the
remember
most serious people in the gym.
literally, and I'm like, perfect, okay. And I remember getting on the Stairmaster, and I'm like looking around, and then one of the girls at the front desk walks me around and shows me everything, and I'm like, okay. And I think that first day, I literally think I did the Stairmaster, and then I left. And then the next time I went back in,
You're like,
I
cool, I
did
got my workout
a,
in.
a little bit more, and I had like my little space in the gym that I would do everything in the hit zone. Um, and yeah, just kind of blew it from there. From there, I got my first, like Chris said, my first in-person training job, which not my favorite, but
Feel that?
got my foot in the door, so we all start somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy, crazy. That even and also to think of just like time feels so strange. Like at moments where you're like, that was really only like 4 years
Not that long
ago
ago.
that you were going through that. That's
Yeah.
like wild to even like 4 or 5 years ago, really. But you've come like so far in your journey, and I think that you just bring so many unique perspectives to health and fitness and to someone's journey. And I think that's what makes you a great coach too, is that like you're the coach who literally gets it and like
Yeah.
gets it as far as like it only being 5 years ago and like in a matter of 5 years you've now evolved into pursuing powerlifting, which we can talk about later, but like you've really evolved so much. What do you think was the biggest contributing factor to all of that growth that you experienced in like also such a short like period of time?
Honestly, I think just like saying yes and like not just always saying no to everything and like saying yes to getting like going to the gym, saying yes to like starting coaching with you and just like making myself put myself out there and like actually realizing I'm capable of way more than I ever thought. Because I was just always a girl who was like, no, no, like I don't think so. Like I'm not gonna be good enough or I'm not gonna be strong enough. I'm not, always had all these million excuses and just like working on just like being like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Um, Tenfold brought me like so far.
So the yes girly, but maybe having a lot
Yes.
of fear at the same time. Like just say
But
yes.
using it for good, not letting it like be like a negative thing, being like, okay, but like it's like the what if. Like
Mhm.
what if it's good? Like what if it turns out better? Like not always just the negative of like, well, what if it's bad? What if it's, you know, bringing negativity? Just everything's positive.
No, I love that. And I think more people need to think about that. Like, not even in health, but I think in any scenario. Like, I think the
Yeah.
world's made us so scared of stuff where it's like, but what, like, instead of what is the worst thing that could come out of this, like, truly, what is the best thing? And I think you've seen
Yeah.
what the best thing can be. And that's great advice to like anybody that's scared to do something is like, also, you're never going to know and you're never going to change if you don't take that first step. And for you, it was like, taking the step towards investing in yourself, and now you've continued to invest in yourself to do scary things and to put yourself on a platform, on a stage soon that, you know, you're going to be able to lift in front of people. Like, the social anxiety girly in you is probably trembling a little bit, but I'm
Like,
so
it's so
stoked.
crazy thinking that, like, not only like going into powerlifting, but also just like job-wise,
Mhm.
being on social media. This is the girl who got most bashful in high school, like senior superlative, most bashful.
I'm sorry, most bashful?
Like, if
Most
you were to
bashful.
ask
No way.
anyone in high school what they thought I would be doing, not on social media whatsoever, with
The glow up.
27,000 followers, like, not Devin, because that picture right there in the yearbook, most bashful.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
Most
That's so funny. I would
bashful.
never have
Yep.
guessed any of this.
Yep. So to
I
tell
don't
you I was
actually know
very
what my
quiet and
superlatives were.
reserved, yeah,
I was
that
most
was mine.
clumsy
Mm,
in junior high and high school.
mm.
Nice.
Sick. But yeah. Um, how do you feel like what it's crazy. I don't even know what I was trying to ask. I'm just so wrapping my head around the fact that you were afraid of a barbell 5 years ago because you're so friggin' strong now. Like, it's insane how you can just like commit to something and it turns
Yeah.
out to be something just like it almost is just like your personality now.
Yeah.
It's insane. Um, but yeah, tell us about like I know we can get into powerlifting. We've been dancing around it.
Yeah.
How long, because I know you mentioned you like have just been putting it off for so long. Like
Yeah.
I've wanted to do it, I haven't done it. How long, well, for two-part question, like how long do you feel like you've been considering it and what made you finally be like, it's now. This is the time.
I feel like, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like since like 2021, probably, I've been saying, this is the year. I'm gonna try
This
it out.
girl has been lifting heavy weights
It
for
was
a
like,
long
I think
time.
it was like once I hit 225 on squats and on deadlifts, I was like, okay, like, I'm kind
Hmm.
of strong. And I think since I pulled those numbers or moved those numbers, I was like, oh, okay, like, okay, this is a year. And then shows would come up and I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I don't think so. And then I would never do it. And then the next year, I'm like, okay, this is a year. And even to the point where I got Chris to like make me a mock like
Hmm.
powerlifting program. Didn't do it. And so probably since 2021, being honest. Um, and then as far as like actually going into it this year, which to be fair, I don't have a show booked or anything, but I will. But it actually just kind of was like honestly kind of like an opportunity like Chris of just like a why not type of thing
Hmm.
of a girl I've always followed on Instagram who does powerlifting herself. She was kind of dabbling in the coaching side and kind of looking for people out there interested, and I saw it and then why not? Why not make this year of 2025? And finally just say yes, just do it.
So exciting. Oh
I
my
think it's cool
gosh.
too, because then it's just more things. And for anybody listening, like Devin does amazing coaching. Anybody who is like wanting to dip their toes into powerlifting or like military PT tests, like if you have a specific thing to train towards, like Devin's just like the boss at it, like so good. But I feel like it just continues to make you super relatable to your clients, and like the journey of literally lifting in your dad's house with like a barbell and no barbell plates whatsoever at the time, to now training for powerlifting. Like it's just such a relatable journey to see and an evolution. It's like a story you get to tell on social media too.
Yeah, for sure. I feel
Mm.
like sometimes I forget like I am relatable in ways. Going back to like growing up like the way I did, like super small and like wanting to gain weight, whereas like I feel like 9 times out of 10 it's usually the opposite. Like I feel like I never really had like I never felt like I guess I had the space to like share that journey because I'm like no one like that's not the typical kind of side you see. So kind of cool to take that and now kind of push it even further as to getting bigger and more powerful and stuff like that.
Well, you just wait, okay? Kelsey and I are gonna be like the mom from Mean Girls with like our freaking camera, like at your first powerlifting meet, and we're gonna be like,
You're doing
we're
great,
gonna get t-shirts
sweetie.
that are like, we're the cool mom. Like
Such a real thing.
I expect it
instead of what is
100%.
she even saying that when you know when she walks into the bedroom and it's like you want a condom or something?
You
Why
want
do I
some
feel like it's gonna be like,
snacks?
you want a
A condom?
snack? Like, you want some water? You want some electrolytes? Like, what do you need? Like,
Oh my
we're
gosh.
gonna be
We're
your
stage
on-call
moms.
staff. Your
Yes.
stage moms. That's what we are.
Have a little lunchbox full of snacks for me.
Perfect.
We'll
Love
make
it.
sure you're well fueled.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's one thing I'll always have, it's food.
I am curious because I think this is a story in and of itself to tell, but on the topic of like social anxiety and just like everything that you went through there, I know a big growth moment for us was even just getting you to post on social media. And I think this is something that a lot of coaches, a lot of newbie coaches, especially those who want to get into the online space, like tend to have resistance towards is posting and then like fear of posting. And I know with your journey too, like there's been highs, there's been lows, like you have a great following, but with that came some not so great moments with like trolls and grown men on the internet who don't
Funny
know.
enough, my reel tomorrow is about all of my mean comments. So.
Love that. I can't wait to go hype you up.
Love
We
it.
love a good reel that just like takes the hate and like capitalizes off of it because it's the haters that make us famous. Let's face it.
Yeah.
But can you just open up about like in your point of view, in your words, like what that journey was like getting on social media and just putting yourself out there and then like handling backlash and handling hate and handling everything that kind of came with those individuals coming to your page and kind of blowing things up.
Yeah, I remember going back to. Oh, my light just died. Back
Did
to
you have an
Decem-
Alex or a light going? Yeah, I have mine. She dies all too
That was
frequently.
so like I just
Oh
charged.
goodness.
Okay, well, see
Maybe
that
she
how long
timed
it
out. She was like,
stays.
"You've been here too long."
Yeah.
I remember December. Okay, she's done. December of 2020, before like when Chris had first reached out about coming on as a coach. She's like, okay, we're gonna like make a post on your Instagram, like announcing you, putting it out there, like getting the word out. And I was like, I haven't used Instagram in like I don't know how long. Like it was like one of those like I would post like I don't know maybe twice a year like throughout. And I was like. Okay, and she's like, I'll write the caption for you. All you have to do is just post it on your Instagram.
I
Like,
think I
that's all
literally so funny because I really think your Instagram was literally like it was actually me, but it was your face. It was like
like you
Yeah,
literally
we
wrote
need
the
to go back
caption.
down
You
to
said,
that
here you go post, like pick a picture, go post it, and like that's all you have to do. And I was like, oh god, okay, here we go. But we did that one. And then from there, she's like, okay, Rebecca, we gotta start like posting more, like getting your content out, like just just get something out. And I was like, okay, we'll do it this week. And then it was like, I didn't do it. And then she's like, okay, we got something this week. And I was like, okay, we'll do it this week. But again, it's just one of those things like going back to it. Well, one, I had to figure out if I wanted to just keep my personal Instagram and turn it into like my business page, or go through the whole process of like rebuilding like or not clients, like a following and things of a whole new fitness page. And so I just kind of like made myself honestly take the plunge and just like stick with my current page, even though I was so nervous because like all my people from high school, like all of my friends from college, like so many people in like that world that didn't know me really now followed me there. And I was like, this is terrifying. But I was like, I'd rather do that than have to go make a whole new Instagram and like go through that whole thing. So took the plunge and did that. And then from there, it really just kind of started off as me like, which I guess I still do, but just like literally sharing like my thoughts of the day of like that specific workout. If like, a workout didn't go as well as I wanted it to, or if like I'm having a bad body image day, it's literally just like a brain dump, honestly. And it started with that. And I think that just kind of like got the ball rolling as far as like momentum went. And I got pretty comfortable with that. And then Instagram came out with the Reels, which was a whole new tackle.
Oh God.
And I was like,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
no,
It's crazy to think that we can say back in my day there was no
right?
Reels.
Back in my day.
Reels and TikTok did not exist.
We just
at
posted
all.
videos.
God,
It
the day and age of when you literally could just put like your videos were literally like a like not even a swipe. It was like a poorly edited compilation of things. It was so
Oh
bad.
my gosh, yes.
Horrible music in the background. Yeah. So then we got to tackle Reels, and I was like, no way in hell am I posting like videos like on my feed. Like, absolutely not. Not doing that. And then here we are, eventually, got into the groove of that. Um, but really just kind of had to get, again, go into the mindset of like, but like, what if this helps? Like, it was always that mindset of like, if this helps one person, or like if one person is like, yeah, like, I love this, that's good. Like, that's all that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at that point, I guess I was kind of looking for like validation in a sense of like, okay, someone's like watching this, like someone likes it. Um, and honestly, it kind of helped me like get going. I don't use it to that extent now as far as like seeking anything, but again, kind of just if one person finds it helpful, then I'll keep posting. Something good is coming out of it, and kind of going into but what if it's positive? What if we get positive comments and not mean comments?
Mm-hmm.
But going into that, 2023 was a big year for me for Instagram. I don't know what happened, but it started to pick up on my page and got lots of followers, and I had a good bit of videos go, I guess like somewhat viral, and then two specifically went like, I think like million something of views, and that brought a whole new world to me, and I was not ready for it. Because 2023, that's a whole story in itself if we ever want to get into that, of just like reeked with anxiety, just like in a spiral. And then all these videos start popping up, and all these horrible comments start coming in about how I look, how I don't look, how I have like no work ethic. My dad hates me and is disappointed in me, and just like every comment under the sun, just like boom, 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 boom. And when you see all those coming in on your phone, it's like, well, maybe these are the right like maybe these are the true comments.
Yeah.
And that was like the hardest adjustment for me to go through, and really had to do a lot of like deep digging and like self-worth and like self-talk, and went to therapy and like had to really honestly like build some freaking tough skin. But I'm on the other side now, and those are now like, as my post will say tomorrow, like fuel for anything that I do now, and they're honestly laughable now. But I feel like it is unfortunately just a part of it you do have to go through, even if you're like getting like 100 views, like you might get a mean comment. It's just like kind of part of it at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I
Or
remember
ruthless.
that. I was gonna say, and I remember 2023, like Devin like went from posting and all this amazing stuff to just like going ghost. And I think that's the hardest part of social media and like the haters literally is that you take these like genuinely good people with good intentions on the internet who are just trying to, like you said, if I can help one person or if I can get, 20 extra views on this from somebody who's going to, gain something from it, then that's my intention. And then meanwhile, you have these haters coming in saying your dad hates you.
And like
Like,
the
what?
worst part is like it wasn't even like critique my form, like if my form is bad, or like do something like constructive, but like it was literally the stupidest video of me
Mhm.
like doing the gym girl thing where you tuck your shirt into like the back of your sports bra and
The
like show
haters
off your butt.
love to hate.
Oh my God, that got them riled up. And I'm like, out of all my videos, that bothers you.
We survived a pandemic, and
Just
this is what the internet is
This is what
throwing
you
a
have to
conniption
worry
about.
about.
oh, the
So,
Crazy.
internet.
No,
yeah.
that was a wild time. And I'm so proud of everything that you went through. And I think with that, like it just goes to show nothing's linear, like nothing's perfect, and people glorify obviously like social media and growing a following, but it does come sometimes with, a not so glamorous
Yeah.
side of it.
I think that's where I think silver lining, I think it was I say a good thing to go through, but I think it definitely helped me shift my Instagram to be more relatable and like to show like I don't always have great lifts, and like I don't always have a good body image, and like I do get shit comments, and like people are mean, and like show like not just the highlights that we always see, and just kind of like be able to shift it and be like, this is literally life and it's not perfect.
Yeah,
Totally. Hmm.
that's the internet is quite the place.
It's crazy. I was trying to find the comment where someone like brought my dad into it, and I was like, oh, it says, um, I I don't need to know what you're doing. I don't need to know you to know what you're doing is wrong. It's like a slap to your father. And I literally texted my dad and sent him the video. I said, this okay? Do you mind that I posted this? He said no. I was like, okay.
I'm like, Dad, am I making you
Thanks,
proud?
Dad.
Like, can
Am I
you just
making
give
you
me
proud?
Dad,
He
did
said,
I
yeah.
did I offend you, Dad?
He's like, no, you're good. I was like, perfect. Okay.
crazy?
And I
It's
think I messaged him back and I said, because that was the time I was replying to comments and I was like, you're really going in there. And I was like, actually, my dad's really proud of me. Obviously,
My dad
he
loves
didn't
me.
care.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Oh,
concern.
God. Yeah.
Sometimes the comment like responses you feel so good about it, and then other times you're just like, I like can't even look at this. Like I can't look at it. So
Yeah, I definitely
No,
go through phases where I'm like, I'm gonna be extra spicy today, and just like
Yeah.
clap back at everyone. And then there's days where you're like, the world hates me, and I hate myself, and now I'm
Mhm.
gonna go into a hole and sit there
I just
for a
don't know if
prolonged
there's
period of
time for
time.
that. I've never like
I'm
commented something on someone's post or like just don't
just like, if you
care
have the
what you
time and the
do.
energy, like, we need to talk. Go do a time audit.
No, if you have
Yeah.
nothing
Go
nice
do a
to
time-
say, go do a time audit.
Responded to 3 posts
You
today.
should do that. Oh my God, for every
Here's a
negative
sheet.
comment, drop our time audit sheet and just be like, I think you really need this.
I can help you with your time. I think you make me really more productive.
Are you bored? You should go to the
Crazy.
gym.
No, what killed me one time is I got a bad comment on a negative comment, and it was, I always go to the profiles because I'm always curious. Who are these
What
people?
did they look?
What do they look like? What's in their bio? There was one girl that did leave a negative comment, and then she said something like, spread nothing but peace into the world, or in a world that is full of negativity, spread positivity. And so my comment back to her was like, I don't think that this is a great way of spreading positivity. But then there was another dude, I remember this so vividly, but he had commented something towards my body, like it was something about my body. And I go to his profile and he has 2 young daughters. And I'm like, how would you feel if your young daughters were getting, like, it just, one, peeved me out. And then 2, I'm just like, you have young daughters and, like,
Yeah.
this is what you're
That's what you
spending
wanna
your
see?
time doing. And, like, God, I hope your daughter, like, oh, I hope your daughters
Like,
find out
that's
how
always
much.
going to be on the internet for your people to see.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it's a crazy place, but we're surviving and you've gotten through it and you've done amazing things with that. And I think with that has also been like the continuous evolution of like your coaching and serving clients and working with people. So can you just kind of take us through like that experience and that evolution and what kind of led you to, I mean, even just like working with Apex? Like I think over the last 5 years you've gotten to evolve your career and you've obviously continued to work for me, and with that though has come other opportunities. So I'm just curious, like how has your coaching evolved and what has made you want to continue to stay with coaching and continue to work for Revolution? And then you've been with me through 3 company names, so we had Crispy Fitness, we had Revolution, and now we have Apex, but you've been along for the ride for all of them, and that's an OG right there.
The OG.
I think what really helped was like having the initial start in the in-person and like seeing like the cracks in the sense of like, my cats are going insane, sorry. And like seeing
That was
the
kind of
cracks
like
and
the
like
perfect audible meow. Like
That
it
was
just-
really.
it was perfect.
there's
Oh my gosh. They're just fighting.
yeah, every client check-in, I'm like, sorry guys, they're WWE wrestling, so I don't know what to do about it. But I think it was good to have that experience and like see what I didn't like about it and like how much you couldn't provide, and then come to Chris and into the online world. I'm like, there's just so much more opportunity, and it just like it just clicked. It just made so much more sense of like the time you can invest, like the things you can give them. But as far as like my coaching, I vividly remember being when I first started back in January 2021. I remember being in, because at that point I was in Tuscaloosa and I was living with one of my best friends, Grace. So we lived in the same house. And again, shy, social anxiety, hated speaking. And I remember going not only just like in my bedroom, but going into my closet to record check-in videos. Like, because I didn't want her to hear me. And like I remember
Where I saw that going, but I was just not expecting you to be sitting in a closet.
Imagine getting a check-in from.
Yeah.
It's just dark.
Well, that was before the era of
That was before Loom.
Exactly.
So it's just
that's
recording.
good. Just a voice memo. Thank goodness. Could you imagine someone just in a dark corner
But,
and
like,
get a loom?
But even still in my closet, I'm still like, hey, like, happy check-in, how are you? Like, and Chris would do audits, and I'm like, she's gonna think I'm like fucking crazy. Like, I'm over here like, why are you whispering? Like, talk at a
It's like,
normal volume.
hi, happy
Um,
chicken.
but needless to
She's
say, not confident in my coaching skills whatsoever. I felt like I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And then just like learning all the new, things that Chris was doing as far as like what she was giving clients and the feedback. And like I didn't really do macros when I did in-person training, and like having learned that and how to make changes and adjustments and goals and all of these things. I was so nervous. But truly, honestly, I do credit you, Chris, to like so much that I've learned as a coach, and just like how to grow, and then just like all the things you've had us do, allowed us to do, all the things you've taught us. But I think one of the biggest changes for me was actually back to 2023. I can confidently say probably the worst year of my life in so many different ways. But just like so many things going on. I was at my highest client load. I think I was at like 55 clients, and I was just like absolutely drowning. Like, could not show up for anything, like check-ins, programs, like just like struggling so much in my own personal life that it was obviously leading into work. And after lots of talks and things, and just like being like, you've got to get your shit together. Um, I don't know like what magical thing kind of clicked, but it got to a point where I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like I've got to do something. And that's actually when I started going to therapy, and things kind of took a 180. And as far as personal life goes, complete 180. And that led into relationships, work, just like took a spin. And then I think just from there, I was like, okay, like you can do this. Like you know what you're talking about. Know, how to do all these things, to make protocols, how to set macros, and how to, have calls with clients and like relate to them, and like how to do all these things. Just like go fucking do it. Honestly, like you don't have a choice at this point. Like this is your job. Your clients are literally paying you to do this for them. You don't have a choice. And it's just kind of like a slap on my own face of like, get your shit together. And I feel like 2024 was like the year where I was like, okay, like we are a competent coach. Like y'all always say, like be the competent coach. Show up for your clients. Like tell them what they need to do, not let them, tell you what to do, and just kind of like allow that confidence within myself. And I think that was the first year I was really like, okay, like we're established. We know what the heck we're doing. And I think that was, I think, probably my best year as far as being a coach and feeling like a good coach. Like I would end the week and be like, okay, like we had a good week. that was good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. You've come a long way.
long
Yeah.
freaking way.
I think a lot of it also stems into like imposter syndrome, which so many coaches go through, and what we coach firsthand, like with our Beyond the Cert cohorts, and we talk so heavily about it, is just like the imposter syndrome of coaching and feeling like you aren't good enough. Like it's so easy to feel that way. It's so easy to let clients walk all over you. It's so easy to have, and you work with so many different personalities, especially as an assistant coach. Like I think that's a big thing, is like you guys are the main like front facing individuals. Like when it comes to working with clients, there's so many personalities that come into play, and so much that you have to like learn and evolve on, which is really cool. Sorry if it's getting loud. The dogs are ruffling a little bit over here. But with that, like, what would be a piece of advice that you would give a coach who almost like is struggling with the imposter syndrome, and like they're coming out of their weeks and they're just overwhelmed and they're having personal life stuff happen, like all the things that you had to go through? Like, what do you wish someone had told you, like going through all of that?
One, I think it was really important to find like that manageable load for me client wise, and not like just constantly be overwhelmed and like not be able to give everything I needed to. That was a big thing I think we worked on as far as that went. But it was honestly just kind of like walking the walk. Like it was always like, well, I don't track macros, so like how am I supposed to tell them to track macros and like give them advice and like give them feedback if I'm not doing it? Or like I haven't been going to the gym. Like how am I going to tell them like don't let life go to, stop you from, doing what you need to do, when like here I am like not going to the gym once a week because I literally can't move out of bed. Like it's just like doing the things you tell them to do, and like doing it yourself, and like being a literal like walking billboard of like, you can do these things that I'm telling you to do and like helping you do because I'm doing them myself and actually being like the coach I would want to have.
Yeah, that's so
And it's,
important.
I don't think that's talked about enough either, of like coaches struggle too. Like we're not
Yeah.
robots, we're not perfect, and you just see everything on the internet like that's all sunshine and rainbows, and like it's really not the case. Like
Yeah.
at times, and that's okay. But like as far as when you were like back then when you weren't in the best mindset and you really didn't have like awesome mental health, just like things are obviously your roster was like way stacked, and that's probably like the worst time for all these things to be happening cohesively together at the same time. But like how do you feel like your coaching has improved from like not prioritizing yourself, being in like a bad space in your life, and now obviously like very much so walking the walk, like showing up, being a confident coach? Like how do you feel like your coaching has improved?
I think kind of just like treating it like any other job you would have. I feel like that was really an aspect I never really thought about and like never really had like any inkling into what a real job looked like, honestly, because I came from bartending and like, that world. I had a hard time of like, no, I literally had no schedule. Like, I had no, like, I would wake up and I'm like, oh, what do we have to do today? Like, there was no routine of like, okay, we're going to do this and then this and then this. So, like, establishing like work hours and like a time frame of like when we're going to do things was absolutely huge instead of just being like letting my day lead me. I'm like, okay, we're going to figure out what we need to do, was huge. And then honestly being able to like, again, like treat it like a real job as far as like if things at home or like wherever aren't great, like almost acting like I'm going into work, like as in like going in a building, like literally having to leave that behind instead of being like, oh, like I'm mad at my boyfriend, like I can't record a check-in right now. It's like, well, you don't get a choice, really. Like, who cares if, whatever's going on, like you still have a job to do and treating it, and me and Chris talked about that a lot as far as like, literally this is like a real job. Like it's not just like a, oh, like this is, it is fun, but like it is like a basically a 9 to 5 job. Like let's treat it as such and be able to create boundaries was huge, as far as being able to just like have work be work, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Using all the things in like check-ins and like being able to talk to clients of like relatability, but not being like, oh, I can't do your check-in because, you know, X, Y, and Z. But being like, I've been there in your shoes, I get it, but like life goes on.
Yeah. Speaking of schedule, like walk us through a little bit. I don't think it's like rare to. I feel like a lot of people dip their toes in like so many different things. So like for you, you get like you get to be like so lucky to be able to be an online coach and like that your full-time online coach. Like what does your schedule look like as far as that goes? And like how have you created a schedule for yourself for like that to make sense for you?
Yeah. I feel like in the beginning is one of those things like a blessing and a curse of like like I get to create my schedule because I get to create my schedule and like again like I didn't have one, so I was like I don't know like let's make a program at 10 o'clock at night, like that's not fantastic. Like work hours just whenever I felt like doing it was when I did it. But now a big thing I had to work on with myself is realizing that, like I'm not a morning person. Like I said, going back to the 5 o'clock gym, like mornings just aren't my time to shine. So in the beginning, I was really trying to like enforce that of like what you think of a normal again job of people waking up, 6, 7 o'clock, starting work, having their full day. That's just not how I function and operate. And obviously, I have the luxury to not have to wake up at that time and start that early. So that was something that really I think works better for me as far as being able to kind of push start time a little earlier. And then kind of working a little bit later. I tend to have more energy towards the latter end of the day. And work with that a little bit more. But as far as schedule goes, kind of depends on if we have any client calls that day. Kind of schedule things around that if I do have them. But I'll wake up, usually do check-ins around 2 o'clock. Give them time to come in by like 12. Make sure they're all turned in if they're on time. Do check-ins around then. I'll usually go to the gym before that around like 11, and kind of use that as my gym content, film time. My family used to make fun of me because I would spend like 3 hours in the gym, and I'm like, but it's my job. Like, it's kind of part of it.
The
I
place
have,
that you didn't want to go, you are now
Yeah,
going
now
yeah.
it's
to
just
Now I'm
like
like,
all the time.
now I'm in here. I'm like, this is my social hour too. Like, I'm sitting at home talking to a computer. Like, I don't get social interaction anymore.
Yeah.
But use it as like content, film, chit chat, all the things there. But I've dialed it back to not 3 hours. So, but come on for that. Do check-ins. Usually we'll make programs if they need to be made. Send out any forms if they need to do those. And then progressions or going through the programs, usually do those Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, typically. Um, so those will be those days. And then any kind of like in between things, making content for Apex, Instagram, kind of dabble those in there. And then usually try to be done by 6, 7 at the latest. And start all over.
It's a much better schedule than what we were dealing with in 2023, I'll tell you that.
Oh my God. Seriously. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, there wasn't an
She
inkling of a schedule.
has come so far, and I really do have to hype Devin up because I think that there's so many jobs and things that come up and conflicts that come up at jobs where you're like, screw it, I'm just going to walk away. This is too hard right now. This is too this. And Devin at no point was like, I'm going to pick up and walk away. It was like, I am going to improve. And this goes, and I talked about this, I think, in Carly's podcast as well, of just like, you can't teach someone to love your company, and you can't teach someone to like be honestly just like passionate. Like, you just can, and you can't teach integrity, and you can't teach conviction towards like your company. And I think what I just have to highlight so much is like, you always had integrity towards what you were doing, and you always cared so much about Revolution and client feedback, and now Apex and client feedback, and just being your best coach. And that's why you've been along for the ride, and that's how we survived 2023 and survived the highs and the lows, is that you've just always had integrity and conviction. And so for like anyone listening that wonders like, what do you need to truly like survive those periods, and I think it just is integrity towards what you're doing, and a belief, even if in the moment you're like, oh my God, like life is just lifing, like I don't have any belief in life right now. It's like, have belief in yourself and belief in like what you're doing, because I think that goes a long way, just to know like you're gonna come out of it. There's gonna be a period where none of this exists, and it's temporary, and it was temporary, and now you get to come out of it like almost 2 years later, and like be so proud of yourself for it.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part too of like, I loved it so much. Like, I loved coaching so much and
Yeah.
like Revolution and like everyone in it. And it was just like, it was just so frustrating of like, why, like, why is this happening? But
Yeah.
kind of realizing that like, I'm also letting this happen. Like, let's take hold of life and pull ourselves together. And I think it also helps looking at like, honestly looking at the other coaches and being like, okay, Megan's like a pregnant, about to be a mom, like, and she's doing this. Sydney at the time was working, full time at the hospital and still doing coaching. And then like you running the business and still having your own. I'm like, you have like, I mean, honestly, the least to do. Like, you, like, I don't have kids. I don't have another job. Like, and I think that made me feel so much worse though, of like, okay, why can't I though? But also is like, okay, but like you can, like, because literally you can't, like, there's nothing else for you to do besides to just like do your job. Like, you just
Yeah.
simply have to. But I think it just, the love, like, it just made it so like frustrating of like, just why can't I get back into it?
And I think that's such a discussion of like mental health too. And like when, you were like, I'm doing everything possible to try to feel better, and I'm doing all the things. And it's like, it can just be so hard when you're managing mental health. And it just goes for any entrepreneur, online coach, client that's listening. Anybody, is like the power of therapy, the power of talking to people, like, and just keeping avenues open, and realizing that like, you have people who want to see better for you and the best for you. And that was a lot of our discussions too, was like, what do you need from me to like just feel better and feel like your best self and show up like that coach? Because you are a damn good coach. And that just shows in the clients who have literally been with you since 2021, like, and been with you for so long, because they just enjoy you so much. And that in and of itself speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And the ones that
Like,
come back too. Like, we've had so many come back recently too.
Yes. Yeah. Devin has great client retention and great even just retention of clients coming back. Like, I feel like you have the most amount of clients who literally knock back on our door and they're like, hi. Like Mary, if Mary's listening to
Yeah.
this, I'm like, she just signed back on and she's like, if Devin will take me, like, I want her back. I'm like, she will gladly take you. She loves you. I was like, and I adore you as well. But it's always fun to see that.
I think on every like exit call or like their last check, and I'm like, if you ever want to come, like, please come back.
Please come back.
Oh, welcome me with open arms. Always good.
Yeah, it's so good. Well, we asked Carly this question, and I'm just curious on, I would like love to hear it from you too, as far as like, if somebody were to come work with you, like, what can they expect of you? Well, it's a little different than how I worded it with Carly, but what would somebody like expect working with you? Like, tell us just about like your personality, your coaching style, the methodology that you like to use with clients. Like, what does that look like if someone like wanted to work with you specifically?
I think just like keeping it fun and like take this with a grain of salt. I sometimes will be like it's just not that serious of like, okay, you were off your macros one day, big deal. It's fine. Kind of leaning into like it's not that big of a deal. Like it's not world ending if we're not hitting every single thing every single day, as long as the overall consistency is there. That's kind of my mindset and approach to it, and just like making it fun and like having a way to make it like realistic for each and every client of like you're not just going to be like, okay, here's a list of things to do, this is what every other client does, and it works for them, so like it's going to work for you too. Like if you're like one of my military girls, like we got different things we're going to work on compared to maybe my postpartum mom who's coming back from that. Like it's going to look different for each and every one of them, but as long as we're finding a way to keep it fun, keep it fresh, keep it realistic, I think that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love the fun and fresh. Keep it fun and fresh.
Get ready for fun check-ins because I like to keep them interesting and on your toes. Never know you don't know what you're gonna get, whether it's me singing a song to you or if it's my cats in the background of the video.
Listen, like the Devin that I knew at Baumhauer's wouldn't be singing nobody, so these clients are real special, okay?
She's come out of her shell.
Like I've got one of my clients, Valerie, and I told her, I was like, just know I got two. One, Valerie. I was like, every time I do your check-in, just know the song Valerie comes in my head. And then one of them, Diana, I was like, just know the One Direction song Diana. Every time.
Every time. Great melodies to have in your head, though.
So funny.
That's awesome.
I also laugh in your check-ins. You get so excited, you start talking, and then you're like, words.
Oh my god, that's
like almost every
check-in is word vomit. My brain starts going way faster than I can talk.
I'm like,
and I'm
oh my gosh, Devin's brain is literally just overturning right now.
And I'm like, let me rewind and shut it again.
We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna do a wraparound.
So funny. Wrap around.
Wrap around. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I promise. I know what I want to say. Just it might
get
take
excited.
It's like the Michael Scott where he's like, sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's gonna go, but I get there. It might take some twists and turns.
It's fine,
but we get there.
Keeps it fresh.
It does.
Fun. No, I love it so much. No, you are we have a fun coaching staff. Like that's what I have to say. Our coaching staff really is like
fun.
Yeah. We just like we'll keep you on track, but we'll add a little bit of excitement in the mix, like, and I think and I love the relationships that like the friendships that truly come out of like the coach client relationship and just seeing that form and that bond. And it just allows us to have so much trust in everybody on our coaching team. But yeah, Devin's a kick-ass coach. And to close it out, I have to ask the same question I asked Carly, which is, tell us 3 fun facts. 3 just fun, like, well, how did I word it? Was it fun facts, Kelsey?
3 just like fun facts, things about you that maybe no one knows. And then you also said it could be 10 if you want it to be. It doesn't have to just be 3.
You might have
This is like
one.
You want to just spit out 10 facts about yourself right now.
I don't know 3 fun facts about myself.
You've got something.
Or just like about yourself. Like, 3 things about you. They don't have to be fun.
They could be boring.
Fresh.
My we'll give it 10 years. My 10-year goal is to have like an animal rescue because if you're listening to this, I love
Oh, do we
literally every
tell the
single animal.
possum story?
Oh my gosh, the possum.
It was so me and my boyfriend were watching TikToks last night and he was showing me a video of a baby otter popped up and I was like, oh my God, that's like my 5th favorite animal. He's like, what are the other
Favorite?
4? And I was like, well,
That's my 71st favorite animal.
I was like, well, obviously cats are number 1, clearly. I was like, and then we have possums and raccoons and baby goats. And he's like, possums are number 2. I was like, yeah, that's what started it all. We're
That's
possums, so.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone say a possum's their second favorite animal.
They're so freaking cute. If you give them a chance, they're so cute.
If you give them a chance.
If you start feeding them out of your mom's house, they will become your best friend.
Hey, leave some cat food on the porch, they'll come up, and they are so cute.
It was a cute, your possum. What was his friend? What was his name? What did you name him?
Opie.
Opie the possum.
The opossum.
He was cute. He was a cutie, but then he grew up. And
He did grow up. If
He
they could
wasn't a
stay that
baby
little
anymore.
tiny forever, that would be great. But they're still cute when they grow up. But
Devin's
fun
like Snow
fact-
White. She becomes friends with animals.
I do. I'm like,
She's singing and
I'm like
she's
the go out my front door every morning and sing their song. Dear
singing to
God.
birds that are all coming in.
Your boyfriend's gonna be like, "What the heck did I get myself into?"
That was like our first conversation. I was like, you're gonna have to get used to animals because
Mm.
they're gonna be.
Yeah.
But that's
And
like
weird
a
ones,
long-term
too,
goal.
like-
10-year goal. The 10-year
And
goal
not
is to
just
have
like a cat or dog.
Yeah, it's not just
at
dogs and
least
cats.
your 5 favorite animals in one rescue would be cool.
Yeah, because at one point he was like, "Oh, I want like some land one day to have a house on." I was like, "Oh, perfect." I was like, "I can have my
Possum
animal
farm.
rescue." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's an animal rescue,
It's
a safe
normal.
haven." It's like
Safe haven for not for
Okay.
the animals, for Devin.
me. That's my. If I need to go decompress.
Where'd Devin run off to? She's instead of doing check-ins in the closet, she's doing check-ins in the baby goat farm.
In the barn.
Yep.
The
Just a little
possums are crawling
yipping.
all over. What a time. So you want an animal sanctuary with possums is what I'm hearing. That's
Yes.
one.
Who other fun fact? I feel like I always use my arm as a fun fact, but like it's not super interesting. But I do have metal in my arm, which is super annoying.
Can you go through metal detectors? Will you set it off?
I can't. I don't.
Oh.
Weirdly enough, I thought I would, but I
Mm.
don't. I did think that would be kind of cool. And
That
when
would
I
be
first
cool.
got
Be
it,
kind of
but
cool.
I don't. It's just
How did
really
you get
annoying.
metal? How'd you get metal in your arm?
That was good old soccer days back in 10th grade. It was actually a what am I trying to say? What's the holiday coming up? St. Patrick's Day.
Mm.
I was not lucky because it did happen that weekend. A girl, I was running for the goal, about to score. She came and slide tackled me from behind, and I just went on down. Because again, super skinny, no meat on my bones, and it broke both. And yeah, I had to get some plates and screws back in there.
Oh my gosh. No
Yeah.
lower body extremity, just your it was your arm.
Yep,
That's crazy.
caught my fall, caught everything.
Wow.
Sure did. But going back to being like tornadoes and the weather, that thing, she'll let me know when the
Oh,
weather's changing.
interesting.
Hurts like
So
a
you
bee.
can be a weather
You
woman.
are like,
Can
you're
be a
like
weather
Karen
woman.
from Mean Girls, but just different.
There's a 90% chance who's gonna
Holding
be
the
a
arm.
Holding her arm.
But yeah, no, more than anything, it's just a pain in the ass when it comes to
Yeah.
training because Chris knows. I'm like, that hurts. Can't do that.
Yeah.
That really bothers it. So
A rough
that's
time.
been a wild ride. So to say that I know how to train around an injury, anyone out there, I can help you.
She can do it all.
Can do it all. What's one more? I don't know.
I'm trying to think of one for you.
Give me like a topic. Any?
You have a cat you have a tripod
I
cat.
have a disabled cat. Yes.
Oh.
Add that to my rescue. Specifically damaged animals because he's got one paw.
Devin
Mhm.
would end up with a rescued cat. a cat that just landed in your lap, really, and then
Okay,
end up having
granted,
to
when I
get
found
surgery
him,
for it.
he did have 4 paws. So he didn't come to me with. Yeah, that was a wild ride. That was back in 2023 too. So
Oh,
love that.
what a year.
But now you get to love up on him. You saved him.
Yep. Yep.
Saving lives on
Yep.
your animal farm.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, there you go. Another fun fact, you went to the University of Alabama, so like roll tide,
Did.
you know?
Roll Tide,
For all
born
of our
raised.
Clemson fans who listen.
Never left the state.
No, did
No,
not.
no.
Got out of
Always said I
Tuscaloosa
would.
though.
And thank God. Thank God.
Got out of Tuscaloosa. That's all that
Ooh,
matters.
and let me tell you, that is not the place that you want to live if you're not in college. Because
I agree. I
Imagine
go
there's
back to
nothing
like
there.
college towns and I'm like, what do people do here for fun? I'm like, I'm too old.
stay-
I'm too old to visit college campuses
They probably still go
anymore.
to the bars.
I was gonna say
Probably
they
still go to the college bars.
They do
I
the
can
exact same
attest.
thing we did.
they
It's
just
just,
stay in the college mindset
I'm
for
too old
way
now.
too long.
And I
yeah,
could see that totally at Alabama too. Like, I could just see that. Yeah.
yeah. Or like the
At the-
cover, we pay like $50 to go into a bar as a
Insane.
broke
Yeah.
college student. Listen, guys, I was waitressing. Devin and I were waitressing just so we could fund our
Go out.
bar hopping. Like, that was the big. Forget groceries. We didn't need to eat. We just needed to figure out how to get
Yeah,
into the bar.
Like, I remember me and Bailey would be like, okay, we made X amount of money. Like, here's our money for cover. Here's what
This
we
can
can
get
spend
us into
on.
galettes. This will buy our alcohol.
Oh, you guys
You
are really
got
good at
rent to
budgeting.
pay.
So good at budgeting. My budgeting started literally in college to figure out how I could make it to the bar. You know, if we could survive that, we could survive anything.
It's true.
I
It's
remember
very
literally
insightful.
going out
Yes.
in my Bob's uniform,
Yeah.
jeans and black shirt, smelling like fried chicken.
Oh, yeah. Fried chicken, pizza.
Look at us now.
The glow up.
alcohol. It was great. What a time. But you know what? Waitressing, I will say this forever, that working as a waitress and like customer service in general will forever give you some of the best skills to make it through life. You become some of the most
Yeah.
resilient people when you work in a restaurant, because
Yes,
restaurant
you
scenes
do.
are not for the weak. That's for sure.
Talk about some mean comments. Oh my God.
Talk about some mean comments. Talk about needing to control your facial expressions in moments on the spot. Like
Going back to RBF face. You know, remember how we had an open kitchen?
yeah.
And one of the pizza guys, he's like, Devin, it's so funny to watch you at this specific section. He's like, because you'll walk up and you'll smile and you talk to your table, and then you turn around and it's immediately gone.
Immediately off.
Immediately gone.
The last thing I will say is that where Devin and I worked, now that you're talking about it, I'm thinking back to our glory days, the slaw sauce. I loved that. Slaw. Listen, guys, I never was into coleslaw. I was like, this is the most southern thing ever. It's literally like a sauce that I don't even know what was in it. And then you take slaw and you put it on a cracker. And this thing was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner when I was working. All right. Like, I was thriving off of saltine crackers, slaw, and a sauce that I have no idea what was in it. But that shit was good.
Mid-shift, you're in the weeds and you're like, I'm dying of hunger. Slaw cracker with some sauce. Good. It's so good.
I need to go
honestly,
figure out how to make a slaw sauce.
I don't know what that sauce was. And then, funny enough, there's a Baumhauer's in Huntsville, and me and Kyle, my boyfriend, I took him there one night, and they don't have the slaw, or at least they didn't bring it. And I'm like, I need.
That's criminal.
Sauce. Like,
Why do I think we
like
need to
it.
take Kelsey to Tuscaloosa
I know,
just
I'm
to
like,
have an
now I need to do
experience?
that. I mean, Kate, we want to go to like all of the like big schools for football games, so
Oh, we got you.
We
Okay.
talked about going down for the Tennessee weekend, so third
that would be
Saturday
insane.
in October.
Would be crazy. We
Let's
could,
go.
you know, I'm free in October.
I'm free in October.
Go ahead and plan.
Wow.
I love
That'd
our
be
yaps.
insane.
This is
Yaps.
great. Devin, where can the people find you?
I was just about to say that.
Sorry, I took
You
your
can
line.
find me on Instagram, Devin M Fit.
M, because your
M.
last name is
Good old McDonald, like the
Old
Ronald.
McDonald's had a farm.
My
Oh my
next
god,
week-
you're gonna have a farm.
A farm.
one day.
Perfect, the
Oh.
McDonald farm.
Perfect.
Wow, it was meant,
Meant to be.
My
Truly.
ninth grade history teacher did sing that to me one time.
Oh, ninth grade,
Like,
that would be like actually kind of haunting.
I did want to cry.
Yeah, especially being like such a shy kid.
I was like,
Devin's
you're
like,
like
I would
going
in
to
fact
me.
want to cry. We don't need to
No,
discuss
I'm
that
gonna
time in my
run away
life.
now. Yeah. Luckily, I did like the teacher. He was it was just like literally like very quietly saying it to me, and I was like,
oh, not to the whole school, not to the whole class.
go away now. Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
Well, everyone go
Oh,
give Devin a follow. She's going to
yeah,
own an animal sanctuary in 10 years, and
yeah,
we can't wait to help fund it and visit all the possums and goats.
yeah,
But in the
Yeah.
meantime, if you want to work with Devin, drop some apps.
yeah.
Kelsey, I'll let you close us out here because you're better at that than I am.
Yeah, all right. So tomorrow is the last day of our 20K giveaway of coaching. So if you are interested in working with Devin, she spoke to you today, you're ready to get strong as book. Make sure to drop your application in the bio. If it is after March 20th, 2025, and you are watching this, listening back, however you're listening to this podcast, there is also going to be an application to work with Devin in the bio as well. So thank you for listening, watching, however you heard us today. And thank you, Devin, for coming on. We will see y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.